How are you, Meletta?
Good.
Good.
It's been a while.
Yes, it has been. Yeah. Pre-COVID.
Yes. And
Yep.
then before that, school.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which is a long time.
Yes, yes. I am so glad to have you here today because we're going to be talking about a very special subject.
Absolutely. Something very important to me.
Yes. And it's going to coincide with Thanksgiving Day. So,
Right.
yeah.
Being thankful, gratitude, two very important things.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And I think it's a topic that people need to focus on more.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. Yeah.
Do you have anything you're most grateful for right now?
Most grateful for right now, I'm going to say that's a broad question in general because I'm grateful for a
Right.
lot of things. But when it comes to what's been happening to me recently, it's this entrepreneur journey. So I'm most grateful for how everything has fallen into place.
Right.
Because last year, I had one of those times in my life where I was trying to figure out, okay, this part of my life isn't working anymore.
What do you want to do when you grow up?
Yes, I didn't want to grow up. Want to do something different. So I had an event happen. So that helped me, I guess, pushed me more than helped me.
Right.
It really turned me around. Like my mindset went from, oh my God, I'm devastated. And then, I did my little pity party, right?
Don't we all? Yep.
Just a couple of days.
Yep.
And then I went, that's it.
Right.
I did a 360. I went, that's enough. This is I don't know, whatever you believe, universe for me. I just said, I know you're trying to tell me something.
Right.
So I'm going to trust you this time. And I'm grateful.
Right.
I'm grateful for what happened, even though it was devastating. But I knew it would get me to where I would want to be eventually. So,
Right.
so
Garth
yeah.
Brooks says it best. Thank God for unanswered prayers.
Yes.
And sometimes we feel like we think we're on the right journey and the right path in life.
Right.
And sometimes these tragedies or hardships put
Yeah.
us on this other path, which is where we were meant to be in the first place, but we just couldn't see it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the thing is, talking about this, before I went on this journey, I'd always thought my life would be working for somebody.
Right.
That's how I was going to pay my bills. But maybe in the back of my mind, my heart knew no, right?
Right.
And so last year when, I had a friend tell me, Melita, you are made for this.
Right.
You can do this.
Yeah.
When I doubted myself.
It's usually the people that care the most about us, and we're our worst critics.
Yes.
And that's part of why we need to be more grateful for the gifts we've been given, embracing them
Yes.
and using them. And sometimes we forget how special we are. We forget.
You're
And that's,
so right.
Waking up every day and
Yeah.
making sure we remind ourselves through being grateful.
Yes.
I have these gifts
Yeah.
and they need to be shared.
Yes. But I didn't know what my gifts were.
Right.
I only knew my gifts around, the same time this year.
Right.
I started figuring out, okay, I knew that I wanted to make a difference in this world. I knew I wanted to be of service to others. I knew I wanted to make a difference in that, I want to put a smile on somebody's face. Not somebody,
Absolutely.
a whole bunch of people. But how am I going to do that?
Right.
Right? And because I'm not my relationship language is a giver. So I love giving. I love gifting.
Right.
And however I could do that just warms my heart and keeps me going, right? So when I went on this listening journey, it was actually, I was hesitant at first, right? But again, like my friend, thank you, Denise, for getting me started, right? It took, somebody to say, you're an entrepreneur. I can see it, even though I didn't see it myself.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I'm going to trust you, but I know the universe is telling me this is what you need to do. I'll guide you however way it's going to come. So I trusted the process. So I'm grateful again for that, because how a year ago today, where I am now, there's no Kleenex there, right? But I'm going to try to hold it together.
That's okay. I'll probably cry at some point.
But where I was last year, this time, and the people who were with me even at that point, who saw that I just I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew I didn't want to be where I was, right?
Right.
That was the big thing. And to see the transformation, not just like with this entrepreneur journey, but the person I am too.
Right.
It's important for me to be better than I was even 2 seconds ago. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, the gratitude there is so big. I can't even explain it, because the I've gotten the support. So all the people like you two helping me with this podcast,
Right.
every person that stepped up to help me get onto this, to do this business in every way. And I'm talking even my kids,
Right. Yeah.
and just the little things, and to be able to find resources to help me, where
Right.
a lot of them free, has been truly amazing. I ended up going on to this, participating in this entrepreneurs program, Anderson Career Training Institute. So thank you for that. And it, again, I tell you, it came at the right time,
Right.
because when my heart and head knew that I was going to be an entrepreneur, it showed up.
Right.
Acti showed up, and I got on the phone, and I said, can you explain to me what this program's about? Yeah, it's government funded. What?
Right.
Right. And I was still able to get benefits from the government. Like how is that possible?
But it wouldn't have been until you hit this point in life, because, we attract what we want in life.
Yes.
We manifest those things.
Yes.
And until you are open to receiving them,
Yes.
you
oh
can't.
my God. Oh my God. You were
Right?
dead on.
Yeah.
You were exactly yes, exactly. Yeah. It's just been an amazing ride. And then getting into that program has provided me not only the support, I was surrounded by people who were thinking with an entrepreneur mind, right? So they supported me, even though in my mind, like, I thought it was a little bit crazy. Like, I'm taking on something that's no one's heard of here.
Right. But it's an important topic, because a lot of people listening, people don't understand how important that word is.
Yes.
Because I'm so grateful for the people I can have conversations with in life who listen to hear me.
And that's
They're
rare.
not listening to argue. They're not listening to push their opinion.
Yes.
And a lot of times we're so determined to be right.
Yes.
We're so determined to be heard that we
Right.
don't spend the same amount of time hearing one another.
Yes.
And that is just a powerful part of listening
Absolutely.
that people need to be more aware of.
Yes. And it's this is a great topic, obviously.
Yes.
Listening.
Yeah. But that's what I'm grateful for. is
Yes.
people who listen and I can have wonderful conversations with, because it's never going to be an argument. It's a healthy discussion, or a healthy sharing of stories and sharing with each other. And that's truly why we go through so many hardships in life, is so that we can share those stories and not hold them in.
Yes.
Because there's always going to be somebody out there who can learn from our gratitude, who can learn from our hardships, our lessons, and hopefully be able to help them to make it easier for them because of what we've learned along the way.
You were absolutely bang on.
Yeah.
That's gold right there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I find that listening, when you listen intently, and with attention and paying attention to the person talking, man, your mind changes, your heart changes, your soul you're a different person, right? And it's not about like thinking, okay, what do I got to say next when that person's talking, right? That's there's the difference right there.
Yeah.
But
it's feeling them, it's hearing them, it's connecting with each other in a deeper way.
Right.
One thing I really noticed is when I had my brain tumor removed in I don't remember how long ago.
Oh my
it was.
gosh.
Long time ago.
Okay.
I think
Wow.
2002.
Thank you. You're still here.
Yeah. I became fully deaf. And one of the things that made me realize, this is when I started being a better listener, because I had to focus so much on reading lips. And it made me realize how few people actually take the time to connect and look at one another, to look in each other's eyes, to actually take that time to not be looking around and not focused, but actually being present with somebody else. And so that's something back that long ago that I had discovered. Just so I'm not thrilled I'm deaf, but yeah, I'm so grateful because it made me a better person.
And there's a gift there.
There absolutely is.
So
Yeah.
you were able to learn how to be a better listener.
100%.
Which
And so
is-
it does break my heart when
Yeah.
anybody is on this side. I don't see them. I don't hear them.
Mm-hmm.
And I never want somebody to feel like their voice is not being heard or they're not important.
Oh, that's so lovely.
And so that's my one thing. It does bother me.
Yeah.
And because I am so grateful
Yeah.
for every conversation I get to have.
Wow.
Yeah.
You were on my side right there.
Oh,
just by
yeah.
because I don't hear that a lot from people
No.
in general, even my close friends.
My friends actually bug me because a lot of times I'll be out and about and I'll go to the bathroom and hour later I'll come out of the bathroom and they're like, okay, so who ended up crying this time?
Oh.
Because I do end up, I feel when people are having a hard time a lot, and it's many conversations I've had in the
Wow.
weirdest place is the bathroom.
Wow.
And just being able to really have those personal moments where
Yeah.
people have shared things, and it's the craziest thing in a bathroom. Yeah.
But it's amazing,
Oh,
isn't
yes,
it?
absolutely.
Like-
But because I'm willing to feel, and
Yeah.
so when I feel
Yeah.
somebody's emotion, it's,
Mhm.
are you okay?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And I find that people especially when they tell me their story, because sometimes what I'm hearing is like, wow, you're going deep.
Wow. Yeah.
Right. And it's like, I'm so honored that you are, allowing me to give you
Right.
that space. It's,
Right.
I'm grateful for that too.
Oh, I'm so grateful for all those. So anybody who's had a bathroom conversation with me, I am so grateful for those moments. And even though I only met you in one moment and one time, you've always stuck with me because you shared something so personal with me.
Yes.
Allowed me to share personally back.
Yeah.
One of the big things about being grateful is,
Mm-hmm.
and you've experienced this in this last year. In 2015, I was in an accident. I
Yes,
lost
I
4
remember
years
that.
of my life.
Yeah.
I don't remember my grandchildren.
Oh.
And there's so many things. So I had to learn to be a different person.
Yeah.
I had to mourn the loss of who I was.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that's a healthy thing, and we need to do that. I think we need to let go. We need to forgive ourselves. We
Right.
need to be okay with changing and growing as a person and
Yeah.
let go of the past. Let go of who we were that wasn't helping us on our journey.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Actually, as you were telling your story there, I was thinking to myself, well, maybe that, not that was a good thing.
It was actually, it was a blessing. I was a workaholic. I'm actually,
Oh.
my whole life, I have been an entrepreneur.
Mm.
My ex-husband and I, we
Mhm.
had built companies.
Mhm.
And so this was a time when I needed to be refocused and learn how
Yeah.
to be alone in my
Yeah.
thoughts and alone with myself
Right.
instead of just go, 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 go. So it was a blessing.
Well, that's what I was thinking to myself
Yeah.
was like, this transformed you to
It
an even
did.
better person.
Absolutely.
So that's the way we got to look at things when we look at challenges or the obstacles or those traumatic events.
Yes.
Um,
They happen so you can share them.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I live in pain every day. I live
Yeah.
with a headache. I wake up with one. I go to bed with one. It never goes away. Some days it's a migraine. And so the greatest gift for me has been gratitude,
Yeah.
the things I'm thankful for. When that pain hits me hard the
Yeah.
first seconds of my day,
Oh,
that's when I take and focus.
yeah.
What am I grateful for? What is pushing me through? I am so blessed for so many things in my life. I have a roof over my head.
Yes.
I have healthy children. I am very lucky. Yes, it is not easy.
Yeah.
Nothing in life is easy.
Exactly.
And that's sometimes we get so focused on the negative.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always a lesson. There's
Yes.
always a gift in everything. And when you put yourself every day on that path and
Yeah.
mindset,
Mm-hmm.
you can conquer anything.
Wow.
I mean, I've had some days where, don't get me wrong, there's some days when I want to give up. And they
Yeah.
happen a lot because
Right.
it's just, I can't take any more pain.
Yeah.
But it's all those things in life that have been given to me. The people, the friendships.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the things that just keep me going.
Yeah.
All those bathroom stories
Yeah.
of hardship that those other people, it would be an injustice for me to give up when I encourage those women to keep
Yeah.
going. And so those are the things I'm so grateful for. And the power behind those conversations, they had no clue, but those are the things that keep me going every day.
Oh my God.
Every day.
Oh my God. That
Yeah.
is so amazing.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That just
Something so simple, right?
Absolutely. And that's the thing.
And I wish, we got Thanksgiving coming up.
Yeah.
My favorite holiday. Number one, because it's not commercialized, so
Yes.
it doesn't cost me anything, but a lot of Polish Ukrainian food. But other than that, and the diet after.
Yeah.
But it's one of those times when we really are forced to reflect.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times that's, for a lot of people, that's the only day they do it.
Which is unfortunate.
Oh, it's so unfortunate.
Yeah.
And so my wish for anybody watching is this Thanksgiving, when you take that time to really think about what you're thankful for, what you're grateful for, look at what you're surrounded by, even if it's alone.
Yeah.
Being alone is a gift.
Oh my God. For me, it is. Yes.
Right? And so but take those things and maybe write them down. And then every day until you make it a habit, focus on those things, add to it.
Yeah.
Because it will make you a better person to yourself. It'll help you in those hard moments when you think you need to give up, especially since COVID with the suicides. We really need to find a way to encourage each other. And through being thankful and grateful, it's something that I think we really, if we started focusing more on it.
I agree.
And encouraging each other.
Yes. And going back to that, making gratitude a way of life. For me, myself, what I've done, you're talking about journaling. So I've got my own gratitude journal, right? That's one thing I've done. And now I'm also trying to take it with my kids too. So every once in a while, every few weeks, we could be in the car at home. I'll just, ask them, what are you, 3 things are you grateful for?
Right.
So I want to get the children already started on that journey too, on that habit.
What a gift you're giving them.
Yeah. Well, I hope so.
Yes.
I mean, they
might not see it now.
Yeah. Sometimes they think it's a chore, but I find that when they start talking about what they're grateful for, I'm grateful for this, they start to light up.
Yeah. And I think sometimes once you start talking about things, it's almost like this ricocheting off each other. Like you're like, oh, wow. Like it leads to this thought and to this thought. And then you really understand how blessed you are.
Yes.
Like there's so much to be thankful for. But sometimes you just got to start that thought process and then look around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
And sometimes actually that is hard, is when you get into that dark place.
Right.
How do you get yourself even just a slight turn of like
And gratitude. I have those days. I do. Yeah. I have them. And, like you said, you have the pity party.
Yeah.
And so it's something I've always said, when I'm at my worst, there's nothing that takes away my pain.
Yeah.
There's no medications, there's no therapies, there's nothing. It's so in those moments, I'm human.
Yeah.
I just emotionally break.
Yeah.
But I only give myself that night.
Yeah.
And then the next day, as I say, I pull up my big girl panties and like, you got this, and go back over all the things I'm grateful for and get back in that mindset. Yeah. But you have to allow yourself to have those moments.
Yes.
And not punish yourself for them, but be thankful that in those moments you grow.
Yes. Yeah.
And a lot of times we look at everything like that when we break, that it's a negative. It's not.
No.
It's you're human.
Yeah.
It means you have feelings.
Yes.
It means you have emotion.
Yes.
And those are blessings in itself.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right?
I try not to, I like to teach my kids this too. Don't deny your feelings. If you're feeling the way you are, you're allowed to feel that way. Right. And it's temporary.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
The only thing I do encourage my kids is, no matter what your emotion and your feeling is, there's a proper way to express it.
Yes.
So that you're not damaging somebody else.
Right.
And that's a big thing for me when people, yelling and things like that.
Yeah.
The world is not always a great place.
Yes.
But we all have a story.
Yes.
We all have a struggle.
Yeah.
And we just need to not add to people's.
Yes, I agree. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. On that topic of the anger part and, this transformation, as being an entrepreneur took me into being a better person.
Right.
And it's still a work in progress. I'm definitely not perfect.
And the day it's not, then you need to relook at your life again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, because every day should be a work. Every day. And sometimes we get focused on the big picture. And one of the things through my healing, and I'm in the Edmonton post-concussion group. Oh. And what an amazing group of people.
Oh, that's lovely.
But we really encourage each other. those little tiny steps
Yeah.
are big.
Yes.
And sometimes we get so focused on the big
Yeah.
that we lose touch with those little
Yeah.
tiny steps, that the pebbles that get
Yeah.
us there.
Yeah.
And that group,
Wow.
that's what we live for.
Wow.
Is those tiny pebbles.
Oh, that's
Yes.
lovely.
Yeah.
You know, and taking the steps into my journey here.
Right.
You know, my group, my classmates that I was in that program, we all have, you know, we kind of, I mean, everybody has this impatience, right?
Right.
And I think to myself, I see the big picture,
Right.
right? And I just want to get there, right?
Absolutely.
And then it's like, well, you can't get there. You got to take the first step, you know? And then
Right.
the next step, you can't just like fly over there.
And one thing you're going to know too is when you get to that, what you've reached, that goal you've reached,
Yeah.
you're actually going to be grateful for all those little tiny steps because you took the time.
Yes.
You didn't rush and miss it.
Yes.
That because it was so slow
Yeah.
and so you'll remember all those little moments
Yeah.
that got you to there.
Yeah.
And then the second you do, you
Yeah.
make a bigger goal and you
Yes.
conquer that one.
Yeah.
But again, paying attention to those little baby steps
Yes.
that are the precious things we sometimes miss along the way to the big.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
You can't be a millionaire
No.
without really never taking for granted that every single dollar.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's kind of the way I look at life. I can never be a healthy, positive, happy human being
Yeah.
if I'm focusing on negatives
Yes.
instead of taking those tiny little precious things in a
Right.
day.
Yeah.
And those are the things every morning I focus on.
Wow, that's really
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
I'm impressed with you and your story. First of all,
It's life, you know.
Yeah,
it's
just,
it's
wow.
never easy. It's
Yeah.
and that's something too. A lot of times as people, you hear karma, you hear those things, and the reality is you can be an amazing person. You can be a giving person. You
Yeah.
can be a caring, loving, pay it forward person. It does not mean anything in life is handed to you.
Yes.
It doesn't mean the road's going to be easy.
Yeah.
It means that sometimes you're going to have to work harder, and
Yeah.
and you can't look at other people and go, "Oh, I wish."
Yes.
You can't, because
No.
you don't know, you don't want easy.
No.
Nothing in life is not worth a fight.
Yes.
The best things
Yes.
are the fight to get there. It's the
Absolutely.
reward at the end. If it was easy, it wouldn't be a reward.
Yes. That'd be boring, right?
Right?
Yeah.
But sometimes that's what I'm grateful for is
Yeah.
actually the struggles, the journey. I mean, not every day, I'm not
Yeah.
going to lie, because there's hard days, but
Yes. Yeah.
it is trying to always remember that,
Mhm.
I wouldn't be so thankful for the life I have without the hardships I've had, because I wouldn't be who I am.
Right.
And you wouldn't be who you are.
Exactly.
Right?
It just reminds me of this. Like, I'm a big fan of Rhonda Byrne, Secret, Law of Attraction.
Oh, 100%.
And this quote resonated with me. She says, "Erase everything from the past that does not serve you, and be grateful it brought you to this place now, and to a new beginning."
Absolutely.
And
Yep.
definitely, that's where I'm at right now. I've still got another journey,
Right.
But I'm looking forward to it. I call myself floating down this river.
Right.
I'm in my tube, and I'm
Yeah.
just enjoying it. I'm just letting it flow. I'm
Right.
letting it happen. And boy, some amazing things have happened to me, and I'm so grateful.
Right.
So, yeah.
I think a lot of it too is finding grateful is also letting go of a lot, letting go of the past.
Yes. Yeah.
And that comes with forgiveness to yourself, forgiveness from your past. And, I hit a huge pivotal point actually before my accident when I was 36, 37.
Yeah.
Virgin Radio.
No.
Virgin Radio had a contest.
Wow.
Jump out of an airplane. When your feet hit the ground, what are you going to start over? And I had this aha moment of I've been held back in life, and I don't know why I've been so held back in life, but it was I needed to give forgiveness.
Wow.
And I needed to ask for forgiveness.
Wow.
And so I had called in, and I was picked as one of the people, and it just happened to be right around my birthday. And so it was
my
this
gosh.
amazing opportunity. And the hardest conversation I've ever had in my life
Wow.
was with a gentleman who raped me. And giving him forgiveness was the greatest gift. And I am so grateful that he accepted that phone call.
Oh my God.
And it was the greatest gift. And I'm grateful for that moment because I didn't realize how much I had, and a lot of people in life who have had trauma, you blame yourself.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And sometimes we don't realize through forgiveness how much we heal ourselves. And I'm so grateful for that.
Oh, I'm like, so did
Grateful.
did you like when that moment?
Yeah. I was walking into Cora's on my birthday. Wow. Yeah. And I'll never forget it. And I'm so grateful. And the conversation did not go good.
Oh.
He did not take any responsibility, which is typical.
Okay. Yeah.
But it actually gave me the greatest gift. And in that moment, it was, we go through life looking through everything through our eyes. When we see a tragedy, when we see a story, we're like, how can somebody do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we don't realize that we're all born so special with our own individual traits. You are not the same as me.
No.
I'm not the same as anybody else, not even my kids.
Yeah.
And what we find easy with empathy, compassion, that's easy for me.
Yeah.
People who do that weren't born with those traits.
Right.
They just weren't. And when you start realizing that the trauma you had in life was caused by people who don't ever understand what they've done, nor will they, that's when you realize there was no fault in yourself. There's nothing you could have done. There's nothing.
Yeah.
And I hope that a lot of people who have went through trauma realize that and be grateful for the who they came away with at the other side, a strong person.
Yeah.
And just love yourself and realize that not everybody's like you. Not everybody feels like you.
Yeah.
I actually read a book once, I can't remember, and I apologize to the author. And it was actually a relationship book, I believe. Oh. But it was saying, you know, the traits you were born with, that is like a fire hose. That we don't even have to think about those things. They just flow. Those are the things we every day find easy to be grateful for. But then there's those things, starting a new company, being an entrepreneur. Yeah. Then there's things where you have to, you know, you and I have talked about, we're both not good with the, you know, the podcast, about the computer stuff, the editing stuff.
We'll get there.
Right? But those things are a straw.
Yes.
Now we're going to be able to learn those things, but it will be a challenge. And then there's those things where we could never do those things that have happened to us. To another person. That would be like taking a shoestring licorice and trying to bring fluid through that. Wow. It is impossible to be something you're not.
Right. That's right.
And empathy and compassion for some people is the shoestring.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm seeing that.
Yes.
That's a lot. That's a big.
And we see it so much, right?
A lot.
Yeah. So those are the things, so many things, so many books. Like The Secret, like the book that I if you wrote the book, please reach out, because I actually can't find the book again, and I want that book because I really would like to reread it and tell people about it, because it's amazing. And it's one of those things, where you just need to take sometimes the moment to realize, because we're so special, and that nobody else is going to be like us, so you can't. It helps you to be forgiving, I think. And it helps you to be grateful for those little things that you do have.
That's so powerful.
Yeah.
I'm finding this, you know, forgiving, gratitude, especially. Wow. Just wow. That's amazing.
It's life-changing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to see the transformation in people who are forgiving, who are grateful. Oh, wow. This is amazing. Yeah. I'm loving this. Thank you so much.
And, you know, I think part of being a survivor is talking like we are today about the struggles we go through, you know, and helping others through the struggles they might have. Yes. Right? To be able to, maybe, you know, you've been a victim.
Yes. Yeah.
And you're not sure how to become the survivor.
Yeah.
And just start looking at those things that are, you know, made you who you are, and be grateful for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That'll definitely change your mind, I know for sure. So, gratitude, you know.
It's so powerful.
Very powerful.
Right?
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming here today.
Share.
Thank you from the bottom of my bottomless heart.
Yes. Well, thank you.
Very happy that you came.
And thank you to everybody who has been a part of both of our lives, right?
Thank you for supporting us.
Right.